Hello. Thank you for agreeing to help us in our applications evaluation. We are evaluating the application design and not you, your opinions, and interactions. During this activity, we ask you to think aloud. This would help us in our purpose of evaluating the application design. If at any time you're unsure of what needs to be done, you can go ahead with your best guess. During the activity, I would not interfere with your interaction. This is because we want to create the most realistic situation possible. Even though I won't be able to answer your questions, please ask them anyway. It's very important that I capture all your questions and comments for our record. When you finish all the exercises, I will answer your questions at any time. And like I said, it would be beneficial for us if you think aloud.
Okay.
Now, can you please begin with task 1?
Okay. Task 1, I'm going to create a new group project with 4 people in that project. So I'm now going to go ahead and click New Project. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and name this project. So I'm going to click the text box. And I'm going to go ahead and type the name of the project to be CMSC434. Hit go. Okay, and then I'm going to click the calendar, which is very convenient, and put a due date on that project. And I'm going to go ahead and set the due date to May 10th. Go ahead and click. Okay, so now I've created the project name and I've put the due date. So now I'm going to go ahead and add some members to this project. I'm going to click Add Members. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and add my first member. I'm going to go ahead and click on that little line. And I'm going to add my first member, which is going to be Diarre. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a second member, and that person is going to be Gus, I believe. Okay, so I have to add 2 more, so it looks like I'm going to have to click Add More Members. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and add the third person. I'm going to click on the line 3. And I believe the third person should be Bo. Hit enter. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and add the last person. And the last person is going to be Pam. Excuse me. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and click Done because I've added everybody. Okay, and I've successfully added a new project, and I'm done task 1.
All right, thank you very much. Now we'll begin task 2.
Okay, so task 2, I'm going to go to a project which has been created, and I'm going to assign 2 tasks for every member of that project. So it looks like I'm going to have to click Open Project. And I'm going to click the one I created, which is CMSC434. And I'm going to have to click Tasks to look at the tasks that have been created. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add 2 tasks to DR, and it looks like to add a task, I'm going to have to click those 3 buttons on the top right. So I'm going to go ahead and click those 3 buttons. And I'm going to go ahead and add a task. Click that. Okay, and I'm going to add a start date to this task. I'm going to go ahead and click the calendar. And I'm going to go ahead and set the start date to May 3rd. Okay, and I'm going to add the end date. I'm going to click the calendar for that. And I'm going to set the end date to be May 4th. Okay, and I'm going to give this task a title. I'm going to go ahead and click on the text box. And I'm going to title this Create Pojo. And then I'm going to have to assign it to someone, so I'm going to click this drop down to assign it to someone. And I'm going to go ahead and assign this first task to Diarre. Okay, then it looks like I'm done adding that first task, so I'm going to click Add. It's loading. Okay, so now you see that first task in there. I'm going to go ahead and add a second task to Diarre. So I'm going to click the three dots again. And I'm going to go ahead and add another task. Okay, so this is just like the first one. I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to go ahead and create the start date. Okay, and I don't want this to conflict with the first task, so I'm going to set the start date to be May 4th. Okay, and then I'm going to add the end date. I'm going to click the calendar. And I'm going to set the end date to be May 5th. Okay, and I'm going to add this one, this task's title, and I'm going to title it Import Assets. Okay, and I'm going to click the drop down to assign it to someone. And I'm going to assign it to Diarre as well. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and add that task. Okay, looks like I'm done adding him, so now it looks like I have to click the arrow to go to the next person to add their tasks. Okay, now I'm on Gus, and he has no tasks, so I'm going to go ahead and create some tasks for him. I'm going to click the three dots one more time. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add some tasks for him. Okay, and I'm going to give him a start date. I'm going to go ahead and click the calendar again. It's just the same thing as before. And I'm going to set the start date to be May 3rd one more time. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and add the end date. Click the calendar again. And I'm going to set the end date to be May 4th. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and title this one more time. And I'm going to title this one Run Maven. Okay, type that title. And I'm going to assign it to someone. So I'm going to click the drop down. And I'm going to go ahead and add this to Gus. I think that's who I was on. Gus. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and click Add. Okay, so now I have to add one more task for him to do, so I'm going to click the three dots again. And I'm going to add another task. Okay, so now I'm going to do this all over again, so I'm going to do start date. Click the calendar. And I'm going to set the start date for this one to be May 4th. Okay, then I'm going to add the end date, click the calendar one more time. And I'm going to set the end date to be May 5th. Okay, and then I'm going to title this task, so I'm going to go ahead and click the text box. And I'm going to title this one data parsing. So I'm going to type data parsing and hit go. Okay, and then I'm going to assign it to someone. So I'm going to click the drop down. And I'm going to assign this to Gus. Okay, and then I'm going to add that task. I'm going to hit add. Okay, so now he has 2 tasks, so I'm going to have to move on to the next person. And it looks like I'm going to have to click the arrow again, so I'm going to go ahead and click the arrow. And I have to do the same thing for Pam, so I'm going to click the 3 dots. Okay, and I'm going to add a task. Okay, and then I'm going to put a start date for this task one more time, and then I'm going to click the calendar, and I'm going to set the start date to be May 3rd. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to, for the end date, I'm going to click that, and I'm going to set the end date to be May 4th. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and title this, and I'm going to name this task Implement Function 1. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and assign it to Pam. Click Pam, I'm going to drop down, then I'm going to go ahead and add this task. Okay, so now I have to add one more task for her to do, so I'm going to click the 3 dots again, and I'm going to add one more task for her, add a task. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing, I'm going to put the start date, and I'm going to set the start date to be May 4th. And then I'm going to click the calendar for the end date, and I'm going to set the end date to be May 5th. Okay, and then I'm going to title this, so I'm going to hit the title text box. And I'm going to title this review code. Okay, and I'm going to assign this. I'm going to click the drop down and assign it to Pam. And then I'm going to click add. Okay, so now I have to add the last 2 tasks for the last member, so I'm going to click the arrow. Okay, so I'm going to add some tasks for Bo. I'm going to click the 3 dots. And I'm going to add a task. Okay, I'm going to create a start date for him. And I suppose I'll make the start date May 3rd again. And then I'll set the end date. And then I'll set the end date to be May 4th. Okay, and I'm going to create a title for this task. I'm going to click the text box for the title. And I'm going to title this Implement Function 2. And then I'm going to assign this to Bo. There's the last person. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and click Add. Okay, so now I have to add a second task for him. This is the last task. Hit the 3 dots. Okay, I'm going to add a task. Click that. Okay. And then I'm going to add a start date. I'm going to make the start date May 4th. I'm going to add an end date, and I'm going to make the end date May 5th. And then I'm going to add a title for this last task, and I'm going to title this Test Code. And then I'm going to click the drop down to assign it to someone, and then of course this is going to have to go to Bo. And then I'm going to click Add. Okay, so I added everyone, so I'm done with that. I guess what I can do is now I can click the calendar and then check all the tasks that have been created. Okay, so now I have the calendar view of all the tasks, and I am finishing setting up all the tasks. I'm done with that.
All right, thank you very much. Let's proceed on with our final task, task 3.
Okay, so task 3, I'm going to change a task status to finished. So it looks like I'm going to have to open the project one more time and click Open Project. And I'm going to click CMSC434. Okay, and I'm going to click Tasks. Okay, so now I'm going to change Create Pojo, and I'm change its status from backlog to complete. So I'm going to click that task, Create Pojo. Okay. So now I see its start and end date and its status. So it looks like a drop-down menu. So I'm going to click on the drop-down menu for status and change it from backlog to complete. So I'm going to click complete. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and click OK. Okay, now I can see that Create Pojo has been changed from backlog to complete, and I have finished changing the task status.
All right, thank you very much. Do you have any questions about anything that you encountered during this test?
No, I think I'm okay.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you for helping us.
No problem.